Todavía no entra.
Yeah, it's probably like a second delay. No, I already started them. Get comfortable, guys. Story time.
Todavía no empieza.
Yeah, dude.
Is it?
So we're just gonna check, make sure this thing is live, so we don't talk just to
There
talk.
it is live now.
See if
See?
there's volume.
Yep, look.
Oh yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. So today is Monday. What is it? November 24?
November 24th.
24. And we're back from Fresno, and this is our second episode. And today I want to bring in my good friends, Miriam and Junior. Um, now I know a lot of people already know them personally, but let's do this sort of like if we didn't know each other. So we'll start with Miriam to introduce herself. Look at the. You don't have to look at the camera. You can look at me or
What do you want
him.
me?
Or,
What do you want
just
me to say?
introduce
My
yourself, like
name
your
or
name,
what?
where do you live. Just say a brief introduction.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miriam. I'm 47 years old, and we live in Gilroy, California. It's in the Bay Area.
So bring the mic a little closer. So you next.
Most of you guys know me. I'm Junior. I'm 47. I'm from Gilroy. And yeah, I'm here now with my good friend Victor.
So we can do like many things when it comes to like something live. It's not scripted, so we want to make a series of videos where my goal was to bring people that are like in our not just doing something for themselves, but also in the community. I had Victoria in the other episode, and she has her brand, her trainings in Fresno. So that's something that she's already doing for the community. That's what Machete Man is about, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm bringing them on now, so they could talk a little about what they do. And the first thing is you did have also both of you had like a pretty big weight loss uh, a transformation. So what was well, first of all, when did you start, Miriam?
I started back in 2011, uh, and it was just like I was just going to the gym like a few times per week because my one of my well actually my best friend um, invited me to go, and I just gave it a try. It was 2011 because
2011. So that's was that 14 years ago? So at that time, what was your weight?
I was around 270 something, 270 let's say.
270. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
It's 5'2", 270. What about you, Junior? What year and like at your heaviest?
At my heaviest, I was about maybe between 225, 230. I just one year just decided one day I just decided to take a big change of life, and I walked in the gym, and I just got a membership there on the spot and walked around the gym, and I remember being intimidated because I didn't know what to use or how the machines were being used or what to do. So I started going every day and started watching people how what kind of routines they were using. I started copying people around the gym, and I asked a bunch of questions and stuff. And yeah, I think it was around 20. I think it was around 2014.
It has to
2014.
be
2014.
no, it has to be before that because we met at the gym in 2011.
Yeah, so it was around the
So
same time with Miriam. Then I guess.
so at that time, obviously, from anyone that have experience being overweight, I think I'm at heaviest. I was 240. So I think all of us were at some point. They were even heavier than me. So anywhere over 200 pounds, I mean, unless you're like 6'5", then it's probably your appropriate weight. But if anywhere under that, and if 200 pounds, you're definitely what clinically morally obese. I
Yeah.
think that's the
Yeah.
term. So besides all the the health benefits and all of that, was there what was that what was it for you, Miriam? I know that a lot of people in fitness, we think of the mental aspect, but besides losing the weight and look being confident about the way we look, what was it for you that kind of also motivated you to go to the gym and make a change?
For me, it was never about vanity or losing the weight. It was more about mental health. I was diagnosed PTSD back in 2010, towards the end of 2010, and I was taking a lot of medications for what comes with the diagnosis of PTSD, which is depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. And when I was taking the medication, I felt numb. I mean, it helped because I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't crying no more. I wasn't sad, but I wasn't happy. So I was just numbed. And I just didn't like the way I felt. I felt no emotions. I mean, I wasn't thinking about wanting to die, but I wasn't thinking about happiness either. So I read an article that stated that eating healthy and working out releases the endorphins naturally. So I gave it a try, and I was medication free within 3 months of joining the gym and eating healthier. So it all started because I wanted to regain my mental equilibrium. So it all started because of that. And then with that came the weight loss. And 15 years, almost 15 years later, here I am, medication free. And now I'm a mental health therapist because of the same reason. I felt that through fitness, nutrition, and mindfulness, anybody can regain their mental equilibrium, their mental regulation, and they don't have to depend on any medication.
I know you talked about PTSD, but I mean, like I said, it could go really deep into different topics, but just a brief. You don't have to explain the details of it, but what was the PTSD? Where did that come from?
No, and I don't have any problem
Right.
sharing because I that part of my life it's healed, and now I can talk about it
Mm-hmm.
without any triggers. I mean, sometimes, yeah, but not for the most part. I don't get triggered. But my PTSD was diagnosed due to a severe domestic violence. It was really severe that even after the fact, I will have nightmares and certain smells, scenarios, or people will trigger those feelings of, like suddenly I will go back to the moment. So that's why I was diagnosed with PTSD. I honestly, now that I'm a mental health therapist, I don't feel like I suffer the same symptoms, but I do get triggered every here and then, like every certain years. There's something that triggers me, but now with through the mindfulness and fitness, I'm able to cope with that.
Yeah, so the reason I asked you to bring that up is because there's so much stuff that we see. You could see someone doing well in fitness. That's our, kind of like our space. We're doing ultra marathons and all of that. And sometimes it's easier to make an excuse. So that's why one of the reasons for these interviews is to bring your everyday hardworking people that you can relate more to it. If I had access to someone like Goggins and everybody read his books or anyone in that kind of profile, it's probably easier to kind of maybe not help you as much because you're just gonna say that you can't relate to those people. But this is as close as you get to an everyday person that is family man, family wife, everything. So with that said, with Junior, what was besides the weight? What was some of the challenges maybe growing up or other things that
Well,
that that affected you? I guess.
yeah, I grew up in Gilroy. I mean, I was born and raised in Gilroy, and sometimes growing up in towns like that, and it was difficult for me because at a young age I lived in the bad side of town, and I just grew up around gangs and drugs and just got involved with the wrong crowd and got. I don't want to say heavy in drugs, but I did get deep in drugs when I used to do drugs every single day, not go to school, would not come home for days and sometimes weeks. I just put my mom through hell, and like I said, it was an ongoing thing for me through my whole teenage years. I went to jail at age 13. I went to juvenile hall. Um, just growing up and stuff like that was really hard. And just one day, I just like I said, I stopped doing drugs. I gained a lot of weight, and I just wanted to make a change. So I walked into a gym and started working out, and started realizing that that was my drug, the gym,
New one.
a
A
new
new
drug.
one. Yeah, that's probably very common. I think we all, when we share our stories, I think we do. I think all of us. I think everybody has some sort of addiction, but hopefully you find an addiction that is more healthy than the other one. Some people become very addicted to work and stuff. So everything is obviously some sort of balance, but I think it does require a level of addiction, a level of obsession over something to level up
Hmm.
basically. So with that said, when you bought again between them, they lost over 200 pounds between them. So once you lost the weight, then what was the for Miriam first? I'll ask Miriam, what was the first thing that you did organized fitness, like the first race or event, anything like anything related, like where you maybe got a medal. So what was the first thing that yeah,
Remember
you did?
that?
Yeah, I think in 2015, Junior and I signed up for
It was a
like a
mud
mud
race.
race in what was Sacramento?
It was like Stockton area.
We thought we were badass, and we showed up
It
like
was a
matching outfits with a bandana.
it was a 5K, and I to this day I still have that medal
Yeah, we
hung in
have
my
them.
wall,
It's our first one
just to
right there.
remind me where I started and where I'm at now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a little plastic medal. I know a lot of people that go to the gym. I mean, to my garage, I show them. Look at that's my first medal we earned.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little plastic one.
And it's like the beginning of everything we done together.
Yeah, it was it was rainy. We and then we were already working out. So after losing majority, well, I think I have lost already like 80 pounds, but I felt like I could do anything in the world, and I felt I remember feeling so strong when we finished. We stuck together. Now he doesn't wait for me, but back then, and we finished the race, and it felt so good. And then we start signing up for other things like 5Ks, 10Ks, Spartan race. We started like in
16.
2016, so the year after. So yeah, that was our first one, and we did it together.
And again, this is just the second interview, and one thing that I noticed already with the interview with Victoria and you guys is that most people that are still 10 years after when they started, they're still out there. That's because they still continue to be curious about other events or level up to harder things. So I think that's definitely important to probably stick to some sort of your friends that make a big difference. Like all your friends, all our friends now are always doing something. So fast forward to that. So you said Spartan race, right?
That's where we met you too.
You met me at a Spartan race.
We heard about Machete through Spartan racing, but then Eddie, our friend Eddie from Gilroy,
Eddie
invited
Sanchez. Yeah.
Junior to his first event in 2016,
Yeah, that was a
15.
12-hour recon in Gilroy.
No, it was You did San Francisco first.
No, we did
No?
the recon then. I did San
Oh, okay,
Francisco
yeah.
after.
Oh, that
But
was 2016 when we met you. We just showed up to your event. I didn't even have a bag with food or water. We thought we could share one, and you separated us and put a bag over my head. I didn't even know where I was. I was scared.
it was rainy day. It was Mama Donna actually, guys. Mama Donna was my first recon,
I'm
and
I'm trying to remember how why we ended up going grill ride. I think it had to do with you guys. Who else was around
Franco,
though?
because Franco, we did it at the ranch that he lived, where he lives.
But I think at one point there somehow I know that we connected some before that
I think we
event.
reached out to you, and you said to get some people down,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh,
we
yeah.
got well. It was only me, you, and
Monica.
Eddie, and then people from Fresno
People
when
they showed up, right?
yeah
Yeah.
from
Sam from, yeah, Sam.
Yeah. So that event, I remember that entire night it rained,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's how the Gilroy event started. Like I went over there, and
2016,
at
yeah.
that time, I had not never met them before, and then from there on, I think long story short, that I think now, I don't know how many events do you think that you did like our
me.
events?
I recons. I did the most in Miriam because Miriam was injured for a while. I think
For
I
one
did.
year.
I think I did. I think I did around 8 or 9 recons, 12-hour recons, and then I did the 6-hour events. I did about maybe about 10, 12.
Yeah. So if you go to their garage, they
Yeah.
have a ton of those medals. So
Patches.
so one thing is, I know over the years, we're on our we're gonna go into our 12th year of Machete Madness. Um, there's never been like a plan or recruiting thing of how do you get coaches or people that are part of the event. But I know I do remember telling them that at this point, at that time we had like this thing. It was like a Machete Madness pro team. Now, mind you, when you think of pro, I mean it's like it's not like a professional basketball player or nothing like that. But one thing that I think Miriam will remember this when I
Mm-hmm.
asked them
And
to
you?
be, she said something like, "Oh, but we don't podium or nothing like that." Remember he told
Yeah,
me
I
that.
remember it.
But
Yeah.
one thing that I learned and I saw right away from the first event that I ever did with them is like some people you can just see that they're out there not just for themselves, but they're out there to help others and to just yeah just help others. So for me, when it came to like who was on the team or not, it's always been the same. It's like it's people that are out there obviously doing the stuff that we do, but
Hmm.
it's people that are like generally like they're not thinking so much on themselves, but they're thinking of how they're gonna help others. And I told them, like for me, it doesn't matter if you're podium. and you're like this type of athlete. But if you outside of that, you only like your character is only good when you win, but when you lose, you leave right away. You just upset and you make all kinds of excuses on your social media. That's not the kind of people that we want. And most importantly, again, leaders are gonna fail too. So it's more like when you fail, like how are you gonna, how are you gonna show up?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I told them. And since then, we always been together. So after that, after you guys did our events, I know you started doing like other stuff. What was your first like ultra? Like anything over like basically 26 miles.
Was it a Spartan race?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Spartan race.
Spartan Ultra,
Yeah.
all right?
But didn't we do like the
We
full Earth?
I did my first ultra in Lake Tahoe. I think it was 2018. Um, it was the hardest thing I ever done. I remember, and it was
Tahoe?
Lake Tahoe. Yeah,
Oh, it's cold as hell.
it took me like 12 hours to do that ultra, and man, I felt great when I finished. It was dark when I started and dark when I finished. So that tells you I was there all fucking day, just out there and getting 32 miles done.
Yeah, it was definitely those. I was out there on all those races too, and it was freaking cold. Like we had to actually get in this lake that it really sucked. I mean, you
Yeah.
had a life vest and everything, but I
Yeah.
mean, top was cold as shit. So then but what about like regular trail? I
Trail.
know after once we started hanging out, I think we kind of did the same
Yeah.
races.
But I think I did a few ultra with Spartan. I have done San Francisco. I haven't done a few. Yours, all of them.
Hmm.
San Francisco. What other 50 kilometers?
Catalina.
Catalina.
Catalina. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I never keep track. I never count. To be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I mean it's easy to lose track of that, but I
Yeah.
know that well they just got here. The reason they're at the house is they just came back from Baja, from Rosarito. They went to do our friend Leslie's half marathon. And if you run a race in Mexico, even the half marathons are freaking a bunch of climbing,
Elevation.
technical terrain. They're definitely next
She
level.
lied. She said it was easy. Only one climb.
Oh
You don't
man,
need
Yeah,
sticks.
only
You
one
don't need
climb of
this
4,000.
signs.
this fucker had all kinds of clients. Anyways, but that's what makes it special out there. You know,
Yeah.
anywhere you go down there, it just a whole different vibe and whole different
People are different.
people.
I
Yeah.
feel like you feel so welcome and
Yeah,
they're so encouraging on vamos, 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 tú puedes. They're so
yeah.
encouraging. Every single person
It's
says.
definitely a good time,
Yeah.
and that's actually how Junior and myself ended up in another race in Mexico in
Yeah.
Monterrey.
Because Leslie, huh? Leslie.
Yeah, we went to a race and we were on the bus. I think me and Mark and some who was it? A couple of our friends that we met at the bus. They told us about a race in Mexico, and then we didn't know nothing about the fucking race, and we just said they had some extra bills. Say, oh yeah, we'll take them, and they say, oh, it's really hard, and I was like, bro, we've done plenty of shit, but yeah, when that's a whole ass episode for that, but we went in. Then I told Junior about it. He signed up. We went on this race just so you guys get an idea. It was a 75K, so 46 miles. If you go to, for example, Catalina, uh, most of us have done that one in probably 10 hours, maybe 11 sometimes.
Hmm.
But this is 46 miles with like 16,000 feet of elevation gain. And when I say that our race, which has a ton of climbing too, it's a walk in the park. It's legit a state park. It's a park. So that freaking race over there, I don't know, danger is the word, but it's like not really marked. Pretty much, they give you a big old gear list, and there's a couple cool stories about that.
Yeah.
So Junior and the rest, they started climbing super fast, and then I don't think I saw you guys for the rest of the fucking day. Then I was out there fighting with fucking cows, and it was just a crazy thing. But tell them about the end when when you guys fell and I was on the top.
Yeah, it was already towards the end. You could see the finish line, like way at the bottom of that mountain, and I was jamming. I was trying to get down there because I was already like 18, 19 hours in that race, and Miriam kept calling me saying, "You're going the wrong way." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not. I'm going. I see the finish line." I said she has her phone upside down. I don't know, some shit like that. But we're coming down. It was some sketchy place area where you had to basically come down hanging on the rope. If you missed a step, you'll fucking fly off the cliffs. So I misstep. I misstepped and I kind of flew off the cliff. But I was holding on to the damn rope and I muscled my way up. And I was coming down and all of a sudden on top I heard somebody just cursing. saying "puta madre" otra vez, and I was like, "What the fuck? That sounds like Victor up there." But it was so dark, and I'm like, "Hey!" I kept yelling out back, but he wouldn't. All I hear him was cussing out there. So when I finally made it to the finish line, I crossed. Here comes Victor, like maybe like 20, 15 minutes later, right after me, and he's like, I was like, "Dude, I knew that was you, man. I could have heard you cussing up there." He's like, "Yeah," and he showed up with one of his trekking poles because I guess he lost the other one up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was awesome though.
yeah. I remember when that happened. It was either you or the other guy, but somebody fell below me, and I was laughing. He didn't hear that part, but I was laughing. I was like, I was just laughing because like, dude, all of us been falling down all fucking day, all night. And when I fell, then when he heard me, it's because I got up after I was laughing that they fell, and I fucking cracked my back on a rock, man. I fell, and at that point, I was just like looking up the sky, and I was just like not one more time, man. Like fuck, this sucks. But you know what? Like with ultras and all that stuff, I know that we all have like a lot of awesome stories to share. But I guess the point of it is like kind of just share a little bit of where the different things that they done. So for example, on Go Rock, and I know it's a little bit like all over the place, jumping around on different experiences. But again, the end goal is that you're gonna notice that it's not just ultra marathons. We talked about they done my events, but what about the Go Rock events? What was the first one you guys did?
The first Go Rec event we did was a
It
scavenger,
was a
no?
scavenger.
It was as a fun one. Like we were competing with teenagers to find random. They will give you a list of things to do, Go Rec, and then you will have to go find them in San Francisco, take pictures and upload them. And we have a team of Jana was there, Teddy. It was just a fun one. We had so
Yeah.
much fun. But our first legit, like where you had to do PTs.
My first one was in Santa Cruz. I
Oh yeah,
did
you did one before.
I was hanging out
Gauntlet.
with the Gauntlet endurance, what is it, endurance, Gauntlet
Go
endurance,
Rec.
right?
Yeah.
Gorak Club, Ruck Club, and they had a Gorak hosted one in Santa Cruz, which was a tough and light, and I joined them and I did it, and that was my
That was
first time.
2018.
Yeah, and they took us all over Santa Cruz, and man, they nailed us with PTs that night. I remember we got wet in the water, and then we ended up in the beach,
You
and
end up with 13 hours or more
mhm.
than that.
Share a little bit about, for those that never done rocking or go rock events. I mean, what does it entail? Like, I mean, it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of PT for everything,
Right.
but mainly go rock is a rock company.
Yeah.
Ex-military people. But like, so when they say rocking, what does that mean? Like, how much weight or?
Well, rucking is just the action of walking with weighted packs. It's a military term. And we are affiliated with GoRuck as an official ruck club in Gilroy, and they have them all over the country. And but people get together, the community gets together to ruck or walk with weighted packs just for fun. We get together. We have been getting together regularly since 2020. Rain or shine, dark, light, we always meet. Our team is really, really badass, and they never complain. So we meet. I mean, clubs do their own thing and their own schedules, but we mainly meet to walk with the packs and sandbags. We call them coupons. And we meet on Wednesdays to do PTs, like physical training, burpees, squats, push ups. But every club is different. They do their own thing, but we do meet regularly.
And I'm assuming that's how you guys started, and we can talk a little bit about what you have going on in Gilroy and kind of what you guys do and how they can find you or join what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So if you talk a little bit about how you guys started your team now.
So we started back in I think it happened a little bit before COVID hit. We started well, I came out with Miriam. I said, "Hey, why don't we start like a little club and we meet up once a week in Gilroy and we start running 5Ks in everybody get together after work, of course, and I'll post it. Whoever shows up shows up. Now it'll just be me and her." And we started posting it, and nobody would show up in the beginning. It was just me and Miriam running 5Ks at 5 6 p.m. during the springtime. And I met a good friend of mine, Abel, and at Anytime Fitness, and I asked him to join us, and he came around and he started running with us, and he brought a couple people with him, and they started just joining us. And after that, two other people joined in, and we started running 5Ks. Once a week. And Miriam was the one that actually came out
which
with the idea of it becoming an official Gora club. So
And now it's a nonprofit.
yeah, and it was. So initially, we learned about Gorak because of friend Luis. Luis is the person in charge all of all of our poor life choices. So thank you, Luis. He introduced us to Spartan. Well, not too Spartan, but more into like
the hurricane
the
heats
hurricane
and stuff like
heats,
that.
and then to
Endurance,
junior like
endurance
more
sport.
of the endurance and the Gorak. Like he was all about Gorak and stuff. And then when we joined Junior did join the Gauntlet Ruck Club in Santa Cruz. Through COVID, they kind of like stopped rucking, and that's when we became a ruck club. And we went from Garlic City runners to ruckers, and we continue to do that. And like I said, at first it was just me and him. Then Abel joined with his then wife Anna, and it was just the four of us. And then Eddie came on board, and it was just the five of us for a long, long time. And until little by little, people start
Yeah,
coming.
people would come and go and show up and try it out, and then would show up no more. So we were used to that for the longest time. It was like, oh yeah, a new person's coming in. We're like, yeah, let's teach them, and but they will not show up after again. So slowly, people that really like the hard shit will actually stay, and now we're like 30 people deep, man, into
And
the Ruck Club.
and if someone wants to, if they live in the area, I mean, I know that there's a few people that do come from not necessarily in Gilroy, but a little on the surroundings. If you don't know where Gilroy is, it's right next to San Jose. So anywhere in the Northern California area, I would definitely encourage you guys to reach out to them. And pretty much anywhere you can find them on social media.
Yeah.
And again, this stuff it is a live video, but it is going to be saved on the channel. So hopefully, you'll be surprised how many people stumble into your videos. Even if you don't have like a huge channel, I know that when we go do Catalina, which we do pretty much every year, people still see the one video that I made for the race because a lot of those races are they've been run for so many years. A lot of the race directors are a little on the older side, and they don't give a damn about no
They don't do
YouTube.
no social
So they
media.
don't put none of that stuff. So I know for a fact, like to this day, every time I'm in Catalina, I'll
Yeah,
get we were running, and there's like,
you're,
oh, you're from the video.
yeah.
So the goal again is to put this out there. Hopefully you get something out of it. And once it's saved, or you can share it, maybe
So that you three followers.
yeah, so the three followers can freaking watch it. Actually, we had like 200 views on the other one. I don't know who it was, but we do have. I don't know. Sometimes it's really interesting with YouTube, like how many people randomly see your stuff and how the algorithm works. But but again, I think initially when I asked them like their weight loss journey, um, every single of those could be like a whole ass chapter, and there's very interesting information. Um, Things that you can learn from everybody's different experiences. But if you follow people on social media, you could see through the different stuff they've done. Um, Leading to what I wanted to ask him is like, what do you guys have for the future? One thing is that Junior, we were well, all three of us and all their friends, we went to Crew and Pace Junior at Cocodona 250. He successfully completed 250 fucking miles in Arizona. So and that shit was that's like a whole story for it.
Hmm.
And Miriam got him. Well, tell him a little bit, just the whole thing. How did you get him into the? So mind you, those races are over $2,000.
Yeah,
They're not. They're
not
very
cheap.
expensive to
Yeah.
go. But so how did you get Junior to go for free?
Um, so I wrote a nomination, or I just wrote a letter stating the reason why I felt that he was deserving of the scholarship. And I said like just the truth, like all the things that he has accomplished, the things that he does for our team, and the things that we have accomplished together and done for our community. And so he was selected, and I kind of like when I wrote that statement, I put a lot of my good energy into it and my intentions, and I knew he was gonna get it because I feel like he has done so much for everyone that it was only fair, kind of. So since I was the one who nominated him, I was the first one who received the
Hmm.
news. And the lady was really excited to respond to my letter and stating that I was really selfless to nominate him. And then she was happy to let me know that he was selected.
Yeah.
and we went on to Arizona.
Yeah.
I was
It was a whole week of
yeah, I
all
was
kinds of shit
I was
happening.
I was working from a freaking trailer. Sometimes they were driving, and I was like bouncing up and down. And then once I got off, I would do some of the night pacing.
Hmm.
I think one day after we did the 18-mile stretch
Hmm.
from Jerome, um, I thought I was gonna go to this dope A station that had all kinds of food and it had freaking little soups. Anyway, so right after that, I went to a meeting with no sleep. So the entire week for
Yeah.
everybody, it is definitely a sacrifice for those races that are very spread out and long. But so he went and did it and he got it done. And like I said, that's probably a whole chapter for itself. But fast forward now, I guess Miriam found a loophole, and she also nominated herself again for another
I
one.
apply for
She
myself.
applied and she got in. So what did you get into?
So I apply for the scholarship, and I was really honest when I apply. I say I am not a runner, but I always like to do things that scare me because only there's only growth when you do things that you don't like. So I do run, and I try to run as much as I can. I done 50Ks, and I go for things that, but running has never been my thing. I love lifting, carrying heavy things, but I wanted to do something that stretches me. And apply and I said, listen, I really want to do something that stretches me, that motivates me. And if I get, selected, I promise I will put in the training. And I did. And again, the same person responded, and she said that she said this word. She said, I was so happy when I saw your application because I remember when you so selfless apply for your husband and your words. And now when I saw your name on the list, I was really excited and I say, heck yeah, girl, so it was really nice and kind of her. And now this is my first week of
But
training.
which race?
Oh,
You not do Sedona?
Sedona Canyon 125.
So it's half of that
Cocodona.
Cocodona. She's going in. Cocodona starts on Monday. Miriam will start on Wednesday and do from Jerome to the finish line, Flagstaff. So it'll be half
Yeah,
of
and
the
it's
course.
interesting because that's where my last
Yeah.
part that I paced. Because
Hmm. Hmm.
of course, Ignacio had to. He's gonna be the one in freaking Sedona
Yeah,
pacing. So I got that shitty part,
yeah.
and I was on the. But
Well,
when
that
you,
was a horrible
yeah,
night,
when you,
bro. Me and
yeah,
Victor got the
yeah,
mud
we're
was
just on
ugly.
18 miles of mud, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you finish, when you come down in Jerome, the starting line, I saw when we saw when and at that time, one of our
Hmm.
friends, Toñita, she was doing that one.
Hmm.
So they start right there, and that's where she's gonna start. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you ask both of them when they started, um, did they ever think that they were gonna be doing 100 miles, 200 miles? That's just for
No, no
anyone.
way.
I mean, they say that the percentage in the world that has done a marathon is like super slow. It's like 1%, something like that. So what's the percentage of people who have done 50, 100,
Yeah.
200 miles? Is very very small. And not only that, so Junior for next year, he's already signed up too for our 200 miler, our
Hmm.
Muertos 200, which everybody that was around or seeing what it is fucking hard. I mean, the 100 miler had a like a 60% DNF ratio, just a 100 miler. It's not just chest because I myself committed myself to the same thing, to put in the training to do earn my own buckle, which I thought I really didn't want to do, man, because I just know how much. And that's funny thing is like Miriam says, oh, because I hate run or I don't like running. It's almost like all these years now, 8 years of doing my trail races. I don't really bump into many people that actually say I like running. So I don't think necessarily that we like running, but I think we do enjoy. Obviously, I mean, we ran in many places,
No,
from the
yeah.
beach to mountains in Mexico, everywhere, Montana, and just different places. There is many awesome moments when you're running and you just feel so blessed and you get the runner's high and you're.
Yeah.
But when you're doing these ultras, they have a lot of sucky moments. But I think is what Miriam said earlier is that we do hard stuff. We do events that are like, and our events are hard too, because I think we all pretty much agree that like, you don't when you think of like life changing events and things that are hard, that's kind of what comes out of it. Like this is the product of it. Um, I'm nothing against smaller races because we do start like little mud runs.
Oh
I
yeah.
did a color run when I was like my first race was like a color
Bubble.
run.
The
It
bubble.
was a freaking bubble run, and I think I took pre workout, which I never do. But those are things are great steps, but I don't think you know those smaller things are really, they could get definitely ignite what's to come. But I really think when you start signing up for hard events, just things that are like scare you, things that you're like, I'm probably not gonna finish this race, and that's kind of like, I don't know for you guys, but I know for me, I think that was a big motivation for a long time, signing up for things that definitely had a chance that I was not gonna finish them. So I was like, well, then we're gonna try. But with that said, we were having a conversation earlier, and I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. Is that in particular with our trail races, or we have the Gilroy recon coming up? What what our goal is like, we don't want people to just show up and not finish it. We don't want people to feel like shit because they didn't finish something. We want people to prepare, and that's why I feel like all of my friends, like them, Victoria, who is my partner, and many others, are out there helping people prepare. Because that's one thing. If you DNF, if you did not finish the race, but if you prepare for it and you give it all, then there's nothing else to it. You can see if you can come back and try to give it another shot. But if you didn't prepare at all, then then there's the likelihood that you're not going to finish these events is pretty high. So we want to encourage people
Mm-hmm.
to reach out, help, and that's kind of like one of the message. Anything, Miriam, you want to add as far as like, if, and I know you get this all the time. You get people that are just brand new and they don't know where to start. And so one is that, like, how to get started. You mentioned you just went to the gym.
Hmm.
I think Victoria mentioned that she started watching some videos like
Yeah.
I forgot those freaking videos that people used to do.
Insane.
Insanity.
Insanity.
Yeah,
Insanity.
she's so proud of those. She said she completed all of them. She actually was doing one the other day at the house.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so how do they get started? Like, what would you say is one easy way to get started? And then once they get challenged, like, work, life, what's one thing that can bring them back to keep going? I know it's a couple different questions,
Yeah.
but you know what I
No,
mean.
I know what you're saying. I think that when people really want to make a change, it's because they're tired of whatever situation they're facing. There's no other way. Motivation is cute, but it'll only last a few days, a few, you don't have to. Motivation will get you started, right? Oh, let me get up, get ready. But being disciplined, breaking those bad habits. And I feel like for me, when I, just talking about myself, the reason why I was so disciplined at first, right off the bat, is because I was so tired of how I felt. I felt, no, I was almost 300 pounds. I just left a really abusive relationship. I was overweight, unhealthy, having suicidal ideation all the time. I was just tired. And I said, I need to do something for me. I'm the own hero of my story. Nobody's gonna come and knock the food out of my hand. Nobody's gonna come and save me, tell me what to do. You have to do it yourself. So I guess people need to want it for themselves, because that's how progress comes and that's how you become disciplined. And one thing that I remember, I read that in order to break a bad habit, you had to do one thing consecutively for 16 days. So that's why I did 16 days of eating clean and working out. And that's when I measured my weight loss was like 17, 16 pounds, 17 pounds. I remember in that week and a half period, almost 16 days. So not only did I create the habit of going to the gym and eating healthier, but then I saw the results, and I think that's what got me moving and continue motivated, and then I became really disciplined. And I think that discipline will come with time, because in order for you to become disciplined, I love this book, The Atomic Habits, because it just talks about how looking at the whole picture, it's good, but it's not gonna make you be successful. It's the little tiny changes that you make consecutively that will take you to the ultimate goal. So that's why it's the compound effect, right? You do this thing every single day of your life, and then it becomes part of your life. So I feel like if someone needs to get started in their health journey, they need to be honest with themselves. If they mess up, it's okay. Just start all over again. But don't lie to yourself. Be honest to yourself, and you need to want it for yourself. Nobody else is gonna come and do it for you.
Yeah, that's one thing for sure I'd noticed over the years is like, even I think you guys remember for a while I would be training people for like Spartan races,
Mm-hmm.
and anytime people said anything like they, oh, can you talk to my partner, and ask them to join us or like that. I always tell people like you can't make people like Eric Thomas says, you can't give people what they don't want. So it has to come within yourself. And like Miriam said, sometimes you're just tired of being tired. Like you're tired of being this feeling the same way. And but again, the whole thing with these interviews, hopefully people get something out of it. There's so much I wish like people, when we have a friendship of I don't know how many years now, you get to learn a lot about each other, and you get to admire things that they're doing. I always see them in their fucking discipline. Like if you go on their social media, they go do their weightlifting in the morning. They have their rug days and they have all of this, and that's how I think is a key to success. Even for like myself, many times I don't want to do shit anymore. Like I'm really like tired, but it's like I turn around and it's like your friends are doing something. Victoria, I'm with her now. She's always doing something. So almost like impossible not to do something. Like signing up for different things. Like
Yeah.
every time you think you're done, like you're not done. You're gonna
Wow.
sign up for something else. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely take into consideration who you have around you, whether it's family or your partner or whatever. Maybe choose wisely now, because yeah, I think it can be very difficult if you see them as husband and wife. If they were completely opposite in that sense, it probably would be much difficult.
Right.
And but hopefully it's not also nothing for people to use an excuse, because maybe it will take one of the partners to start doing, well, from the eating to the exercise, and hopefully the other person, because I don't think no one is against being healthy. No one is against of uh, looking the best that you can look. I mean, nobody can sit there and say that we don't care how we look. That's bullshit. I think everybody wants to look good in what they wear. So, so I just want to thank Miriam and Junior for joining us. Again, if you have social media, then that's the only way you freaking seeing this. So if you do, give them a follow. They have their personal pages, and they also have Garlic City Rockers, but they also have their running club. Look into their stuff, man. We got a lot going on. Anything else?
No, thank
No.
you. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for having us here. There's a lot of more stuff we could talk about, but yeah,
Yeah, it's
Next visit with the rope on.
yeah.
yeah.
There's a,
Next time
Next
I'll get a rope for everyone.
the next time of the what is it, Molcajete Chronicles,
Yeah,
we'll
Molcajete
continue.
Chronicles. Yeah, what's the next thing we have? Honestly, I lose track of.
the recon.
Okay, we have the recon, but what else? I'm
A
pretty sure you guys
Catalina.
are doing
Oh,
Catalina.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see you somewhere. We're all over the fucking place.
yeah.
But time to eat. I think I'm hungry now. He wasn't recording. Just kidding.
Maybe.
Wait, was he? Oh, he was.
It was.
Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes.